It can be uncomfortable for you when your dog smells your private parts or does it with a visitor. The first thing that may come to mind is that it's a sexual behavior, as we tend to seek a human explanation for that behavior, but this is far from the truth. For a dog, it's a way of communicating and even knowing if you're sick. So, if your dog does it, write it in the comments, and now, let's begin. Your dog might be doing it out of curiosity, as dogs' olfactory curiosity is particularly evident when they explore people's private parts or their behinds. From a dog's perspective, these areas of the human body emit unique and distinctive odors that can contain a wealth of information. For example, the sebaceous and sweat glands in these areas produce pheromones and other chemical compounds that are highly detectable to dogs. Although this behavior may seem intrusive or uncomfortable to us, for dogs, it's a completely natural way of exploring and understanding their environment. It's important to understand that, from a dog's perspective, this behavior doesn't have negative or sexual connotations. It simply represents a form of social interaction and exploration of the world around them. Dogs have an extraordinary ability to recognize people and other animals by their unique scent. This highly developed sense of smell allows them to form lasting associations with specific individuals and remember them even after prolonged periods of separation. An illustrative example of this phenomenon is when a dog recognizes the smell of a member of their human family after a long day at work or a trip. Imagine you've been away from home for hours and finally return. Your dog, who has been patiently waiting for your return, immediately detects your presence by the unique scent you emit. Although it can't see you right away, it recognizes your characteristic aroma and begins to actively search for your location. When it finally finds you, it may greet you effusively, demonstrating its joy at your return. In this case, the dog has used its sense of smell to identify you specifically among all the people who could walk through the door. We should know that this behavior traces back to the ancestral instincts of dogs, which relied on their sense of smell to survive in nature. In a natural context, dogs and other animals use smell as a form of communication and social exploration. When a dog smells the private parts or the behind of a person, it's engaging in an instinctive behavior rooted in its evolutionary history. From the dog's perspective, smelling these areas provides valuable information about the identity, emotional state, and overall well-being of the person. Additionally, this behavior can be a way of establishing and maintaining social relationships within their group, as scent exchange is an important part of communication among pack members. Health signals are another interesting aspect related to the behavior of smelling people's private parts and behinds by dogs. While it may seem intrusive to us, from the perspective of dogs, sniffing these areas can provide valuable information about the person's health status. For example, the sebaceous and sweat glands in the private parts and behind can emit odors that could indicate underlying health problems, such as infections, hormonal imbalances, or even cancer. Dogs, with their highly developed sense of smell, are capable of detecting these subtle changes in human body odor that might go unnoticed by us. In nature, animals often rely on smell to assess the health status of other members of their group. Similarly, pet dogs can use their sense of smell to identify potential health problems in their close human companions. If a dog detects an unusual or abnormal odor in a person's private parts or behind, it could exhibit different behavior, such as repeatedly licking those areas or showing increased attention to them. While it's important to note that dogs cannot diagnose health problems themselves, their sniffing behavior can serve as an early warning sign to seek professional medical attention. In this sense, dogs sniffing of private parts and behinds can be considered instinctive behavior aimed at protecting and caring for their close humans by detecting potential health problems. What do you think? Speaking of dogs' sense of smell, here's a video on the topic that might interest you. Well, that's all for now until next time.